Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you coming back to my channel. On this video, I'm going to go over 5 specific tips that help you run and operate your Airbnb entirely remote and as smoothly as you possibly can. All right, before we get going, I just want to say thank you again. If you want, you can subscribe to my channel, give me a like on this video. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to be including the video that I created for getting your first property with $0 out of your pocket. All right, option number 1. This is probably the most important one for everybody so that they can operate remotely and smoothly and never have to be at the property. A digital lock. And there are a plethora of options available to you on the market at any of these major retail stores or even Amazon. I'm going to name probably my top 2 to 3. We've used, I'd say, probably 5 to 6 in total, but of those, I have a top 3 that I like the most. I would honestly say my first go-to would be Sifely. They do have a digital app that you can preset codes so that guests can get into the property as needed. You can even have your cleaning team have access to the app. Just create a shared login with them so that you can create codes as needed. Sifely also comes with physical keys. Ones that I've used in the past have a thumb press on the handle that opens up a little panel that you can put the physical key inside of the lock itself. If the battery ever dies or there's a Wi-Fi issue or anything like that happens, they still have access to that property, and so do you and your handyman or cleaners or your team in general. I would say for the next option when it comes to a digital lock would probably be ADT. It provides a level sense of security for you and the guests. I'm able to see and change the codes as needed on the dot, on the fly, anytime I want. I get to see the activity, I get to see when the guests went in, I get to see when the cleaners went in, and it also helps if guests try to pull a fast one on you and or say no, they didn't do something, but like, no, there's the proof. I watched you go in at this time. Number 3 option would be a Slage on code. It's probably the most well-known lock within the Airbnb community, short-term rentals. And I'll try to include links to every one of these things in the description below. But I think it comes down to personal preference, frankly. I'd say try a couple. It's not the end of the world if you don't like it. Next property, try a different set and just kind of get used to it. All right, tip number 2. This one's kind of controversial to fellow Airbnb short-term rental operators and even guests sometimes too, I would say. We put cameras on the exterior side of our properties, which I think it is well within our right for security purposes and also to protect us as hosts. I know a lot of guests find it invasive and they just not comfortable with the idea that they have a camera on them at times, which I totally understand and totally respect. But they got to flip that coin and reverse it. This is our home. This is our property. And even if we don't own it, we're managing this for somebody else. So we are promising to protect that property. And no, not all guests are bad by any means. I'd probably say 99% of all my guests have been great. But having that Ring camera, very helpful in a lot of circumstances when guests try to pull fast ones on you. The point is, Ring cameras protect you, protect the guests, protect your cleaner, protect every single person involved if utilized appropriately. You have to disclose that you have a camera on the property. Don't ever put it inside. Don't be one of those people. That's just wrong. That's crossing lines. It's just inappropriate. Put one on the front of the house by where the entrance is. I recommend getting a wired camera to boot. Battery options work well too. It's just a little bit extra work for your cleaners or handyman or you if you decide to use it. Tip number 3, you need to find a reliable handyman. When you're doing research into Airbnbs, I'm going to be encouraging everybody to start joining Facebook groups for Airbnb specifically. The hosts of Airbnb Automated, STR Nations. Jump in and type in Airbnb short-term rental and join large groups. Ask in there, say, hey, I need a handyman. I'm operating this Airbnb in this specific city. Can anybody give me quality recommendations? And just start going down a rabbit hole then and there. Find hosts in the city that you're working in too. Like once you get the system down, it just becomes repetitive. The next option, TaskRabbit. They tend to be more paid by the job, not by the hour. Talk to other hosts, talk to cleaners, ask around. You will find somebody, I promise. Option number 4. This one is your backbone, your cleaning team. They are vital. They are your eyes and your ears. Treat them well, find a good team, give them the respect they need, They are your partner. Yes, they are employed by you, but if you treat them like your partners, I promise you, you're gonna have the best operating Airbnb in this city. Now, just like the handyman, cleaners are found on Facebook. That is the #1 place that I found every single one of mine in any city that I've ever operated in. Hunt in here and ask for your top 3 recommendations. Tip number 5, as promised. This should be a given, but you'd be amazed. This is the #1 tool. You need a reliable smartphone. That is it. You just need to download the apps that are involved. You set everything up automatically through your phone. Once this is all set in place, the only thing you're doing is responding to guests as the issues arise, if they arise. And again, guys, if you made it to the end, I just want to thank you. I would appreciate if you smashed that subscribe button, gave this video a like. As promised, check out the video in the link over here. It teaches you how to find your first property or your 30th property with 0 money out of your pocket and how to talk to that landlord in achieving that goal.